Feel the power of the Kyokugen fist!
Round 1. Get ready. Fight.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy B-Dub, and today I'm bringing you guys some more gameplay for Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. I'm back on ranked, and I've been trying to cook up with Marco, and I ain't gonna lie, I've been having a lot of fun with the game still. It's still like, you know, really technical, really dope, very fast paced, you know. Everybody fucking moves with like the drop of a hat, because 1 minute you could be cooking up somebody and then boom, right after that, they could flip it just because they turn on a off switch in their brain, and it's like, yo, we back in. And I've been noticing that as I keep climbing through the ranks, because man, there are some aggro ass players in this hoe. I ain't even gonna hold you. A lot of what I've seen is just people love the rush down. They love the rush down. They try to get in your face. They try to make you play the mind games, and it's always their turn, their turn, their turn. But one thing I've noticed, I guess maybe because I get to play Marco, he's kind of like that Ryu Shoto-esque type character. I get to kind of control that, you know what I mean? I get to be able to slow the game down to my pace if I just block. Now granted, there'll be times I play like a fucking nut and I'll be like, fuck it, I'm a DP, of course. You know, iframes, always. But as I'm slowly progressing through it, I'm starting to learn more on how to control the wildness and just keep it locked down to my pace, you know, because everybody's gonna play at their own pace or their own style or be in their ways about it. But once you kind of adapt to that quickly within the first round, you should be good. But if you don't, then you're getting a can of ass whoopings. So I ain't gonna hold you. It's been like exhilarating, if that's the word I can use. It feels very exhilarating when I play this game, because it's like the heat of the moment, and it puts you in a spot where it's like you have to guess this 50-50, or if I'm gonna try to just do some like wonky grab setup or like SPG, you know what I mean, like with the rev blow. But as time has gone on, I think I found a comfortable space with Marco where I'm like, I bet I've seen some of the tech, I've seen what people can do with Marco at a high level. So I was like, okay, I have my setups, I have my overhead, and I got my like corner carry and shit. Now granted, I'll say this much, it's not 100% optimal. I've been juggling a lot of games between Garu, Tekken, you know, I still play Marvel on the side. I'm still trying to, you know, bring you guys some content with that. And Streets is coming up with the Elena patch very soon. So it's just been a lot to kind of, you know, try to balance it all out while keeping them all at a high level. Like, my fundamentals are there for sure. They'll still carry me through most fighting games. But like when you start climbing the ranks, that's when you start to see, you're like, oh shit, like these motherfuckers is not playing. They are like hungry for this W. And like right here, you'll see like this one guy that I fight. Like I think at one point he like teabagged me, and I was like, oh my god, bro.
Oh hell no, man. What the fuck?
You know, and I'm just like, that wasn't necessary. I don't know if maybe how I was playing kind of upset or frustrated them, but I was just like, hey man, I'm in my bag. I want to do my thing. I'm not gonna approach you, so I'm gonna just do it the best way that I feel comfortable, whether that's like small pokes or trying to open you with the overhead or just rushing for a fake out and then grab, you know. It's so many different ways you can open up your opponent. You can see people start to crack under pressure, and it'll trigger them to either do like, you know, iframe DP or like wake up super or like rev blow. And it's like, damn, bro, you ain't have to do that. I mean, obviously, you know, people can get scared and, you know, they're going to react how they react. But me personally, I just try to keep it very by the books with Marco as far as my fundamentals go, you know, because I'm never trying to just overexert. But as I'm playing, there's times when I realize I'm like, yo, I try to do a fireball and then I get DP and I just get so salty because I'm like, I should have died there and they fucked up and then I killed them and I'm like, wow, that's so embarrassing. Or worse, I do the DP and then they fuck me up and punish me for it, and then I lose the set, and I'm like, come on, dog, like, what the fuck? you know. But there's little tech things like that where you can hold like the rev button and, you know, like do like a half circle motion on the side to keep yourself from like messing up anything like that. You have a lot of option selects in this game, which I think is really nice, but I haven't dug super deep into it outside of just studying it. I haven't been able to implement it into my game yet, but I hope to do so as I keep just climbing through the ranks. So we'll see how that goes. And like I said, I did want to upload a couple of Garo videos previously, but I did have some footage that I recorded that ended up having the audio bug, and I was so salty because I was like, they were some good matches, but they didn't have no gameplay audio, so it was just footage with like some SNK music that I found and just some of the classic ones that I would put over my videos, and I was just like, this just doesn't seem like enough. So I was like, fuck it, I hopped back on the ranked and you know, just started just trying to just see who I could run into, and it put the battery in my back when I was like, all right, I gotta lock in because these people are hungry. And contrary to popular belief, I feel like people were really bagging on this game after release with everything that happened with you know, Cristiano Ronaldo, and then they had Salvatore Ganacci. So people felt the way, you know, about the game. It's like, yo, why are you giving me Cristiano Ronaldo? That could have been, you know, fucking X character. And then you put Salvatore, and it's like, that could have been, you know, Duck King or something, you know. So people were pretty like peeved about that. So I understand that from that perspective. But to see the turnaround completely go for Salvatore, where he was just this oddball, you know, guy, and then ended up being completely adored by many because he, you know, he came out to some of the tournaments to, you know, put himself out there. It was like, yo, this guy's pretty chill. He's a cool guy, you know, outside of his own career with the music and stuff. But, you know, people respected that, and they kind of appreciate that a little bit more than Ronaldo. So, yeah. And another thing that happened pretty recently, I think about 2 weeks ago now, Combo Breaker happened. And Combo Breaker was hyped because I was watching Tekken, I was watching Streets, and Garo was one of those games that I was eyeing, man. And in top 8, yo, like, my man Goichi put in that work with Marco. Being able to see how methodical he played with Marco, it was so textbook, it was so like high level, and it showed how scary Marco can be when you play at that level every time. Like, you could do like a setup with like you know, it ends with EX kicks or something, right? Or, you know, some sort of hard knockdown, and then they whiff one of the light kicks to just get across the screen, and then you do like a short hop whiff button, you know, low, and then you still have time to do that while the opponent's recovering, and then now you have to guess. And the guess is whether it's high, low, or grab. And more often than not, people will be so scared of the low, or, you know, they get hit with the overhead. And when you get hit with the overhead, you get the fucking, you know, the jab kick level 1, and it was just opening the fuck up out of people, and it was insane to see. Shout out to Goichi to be able to display Marco at such a high level, because it had people all over the timeline that weekend. I was seeing people like be like, yo, this is how you block against this, and this is how you do this against that. And I was just like, yo, y'all wasn't saying that literally fucking a week or two prior to that tournament, when people like Hokotomaru or Hotaru or even Kaien was just fucking everybody up, because it's like he wasn't even on y'all radar, you know. So for Goichi to put him on the map, it was like, oh shit, that's pretty tough. So I know some people started getting real salty with Marco and stuff. So I just personally was just like, hey, I'm happy my main character was able to show off and show his ass to everybody, to let them know, yo, don't fuck with Marco, don't sleep on that boy, because he'll definitely switch up the tide real quick, especially if he got that SPG. His corner carry, his damage, all of that shit hits real chunky. So, you know, it keeps people on their toes when you try to do anything against them. So I try to display that as I climb through the rank leaderboards, you know, just trying to play at my own pace, you know. But what also makes it crazy is now we're at the point where they just had a recent patch drop where I think they fixed a few things, and it had people pretty happy. I guess a couple people got buffed and nerfed. One thing I know for sure, Hotaru, you know, she had like a DP, and apparently it was infamous for being like the fastest fucking DP in the game. So most like safe jump setups you could do on everybody else, it will work, except for her. So now apparently that got changed, so now you can actually play her when it's two high level players going at it. And seeing that change come in is like, oh, okay, cool. You know, they're listening, they're watching, they're seeing what's happening. And I don't know the full patch list, I don't know all the notes, so, you know, don't quote me on this. But as far as what I saw, that's what I've seen so far. Another thing that I saw too, which kind of goes back to the Goichi thing, was hearing that apparently he quote-unquote dropped Marco because the SNK team is working, I guess, with PS5 to kind of work on that input lag. So they're able to remove that from the game. So when you try to block the Marco overhead setup, it's like now it's reactable. So he's like, oh, well, that was fun, Marco. Okay, bye, thanks. You know, it's just like, what the fuck? You can't do that. But I get it. You know, pro players got a pro players, so I completely understand. I think he's going back to Cayenne or something, or whoever else is kind of dominating that top spot in this game. But yeah, I think a lot of it just goes back to just this game being the way it is, because it has such a high ceiling for the skill gap. It's just like, you can be so fucking good at this game and still fuck up if you come across a player that, you know, they'll jump in on you, you try to DP, and then they fucking just defend. It's like, what the shit? Like, you know, there's even players I run into now between B to A rank where they'll try to like bait out my DP by jumping in, and I'll DP and then they just defend it, and I'm like, what the shit? And then I get full punished. You know, you get rewarded for playing smart. You get rewarded for knowing the knowledge in this game as far as you know, how certain buttons interact, how things work. And I'm trying to still also do my fair share of studying with that, because I think at one point I tried to just defend like a super, and you know, I was able to get some of the hits, you know, blocked, but still in the works, not 100% yet, not 100%. But I definitely still enjoy myself when I play this game, because again, you know, I've never been one to play SNK games like, you know, Fatal Fury, KOF, things of that nature. But this one was a great way to bridge me into that series, kind of like the way that Strive was, because I never played, you know, Guilty Gear, but Strive, when that initially came out, I was loving the hell out of that game. I was playing Zato and Potentman, so that was my shit. But with this one, I immediately fell in love with Marco, man. This guy is too clean, bro. He is literally Shoto as fuck, and being able to just dash up and put people on edge where it's like, hey, am I gonna do the high, am I gonna do the low? Psych, it was a grab, now I'm in your face again, low, and then just 45% gone. I'm just like, that's such a great feeling. And my favorite thing, honestly, about this character, I ain't gonna hold you, is the super. The level 3, like when you have your SPG, that is my favorite thing about Marco. Boy, he beats the brakes off of you when he does that last little bit where he just beating your body, and then he just puts his fist out and then he go. That shit reminded me of the Kendrick Lamar fucking Not Like Us, the
that fuck him up.
That's how that feels for me. So that's why I have such a great feeling when I play this game, because it's like I'm having fun, I'm enjoying myself. So I want to continue to play this game and support it as much as I can, because as you see, like, I think the main 4 games, or at least the main 3 so far at the moment, is definitely Streets, definitely Tech, and definitely Golf. These games right now, to me, are dominating the top 3 just because of how wild it gets. You're able to put pressure, but you're also able to get pressured in response if you come across a player with that level of skill. But yeah, I really hope you guys have been enjoying the footage, and I hope you guys have been enjoying Garu, because again, for Fatal Fury to come back so strongly, I really want to see them do well. Season 1's on the way, so we got Andy Bogart, if I'm not mistaken, is next. So we've seen some footage from one of the tournaments, I can't remember, but they were able to show it off, and he kind of plays like Hokotsumaro, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he has like the little roll that he does into the kicks, So he looked pretty clean. I ain't gonna hold you. He looked pretty clean. And if Mr. Boss and Ken and Chun-Li are gonna look like that, boy, you know that shit gonna be tough. You know that shit gonna be tough. I think the other character is what, Joe Higashi, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I can't wait to see the future that this game holds, because again, it's like literally its first year, and for them to have a pot coming up with the tournament, what is it like? I think they want like, what is it, 2 mil? Like $1 mil or 2 mil in pot bonuses for one of the tournaments. It's like, you know, they're trying to win big. You know, they're trying to get people into the game. And with the rollout that they had, I mean, granted, it was okay, I guess. I'm not too like into what they were doing. I think they showed up at like WWE, and then they had the KSI and I Show Speed thing. That one was pretty cool because it, you know, it just tries to like, you know, they're trying to reach different markets. But the one thing that I will say is I feel like they did alienate a little bit of the main market, which is those hardcore gamers. So I can see why people felt a little bit of a ways about it. But I mean, regardless, if I feel like your end product is able to carry that and sustain that, that should be more than enough. Just look at the game. It looked beautiful, bruh. Like, that shit is so clean. When you do a super, when you do a just defend punish, and then especially when you do your level 3 with the rev gauge and shit like that. Like, boy, that shit looks so clean. I can't get enough of that. But yeah, I've been rambling for a bit, so I'll leave you guys with the rest of the footage. I appreciate you guys as always. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know all the jazz. And yeah, this has been your boy B-Dub. I'm out. Peace.
Just getting started. This is the power of Ryokugen Karate.
Round 2. Get ready. Fight. SPG.
Not happening. Not happening. Just getting
Marco wins. Round 1. Get ready. Fight. SPG.
Just getting
Marco wins.
This is the power of Ryokugen Karate.
Round 2. Get ready. Fight. SPG.
Just getting done. Go kick. Bear witness. Just getting started.
win.
Gyokugen Karate is invincible! Do you see these fists? Unstoppable!